Oh, we're back, baby.
What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. The brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To blame, haters face the world's mistakes. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. And we feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race.
What's happening, chat? They are freaking the fuck out over the communists and just the sweeping loss. They did have one small victory out in Mesa County. You know how the Republicans are always talking about how, all the left-wing protesters are paid by George Soros and they're all paid and they get paid money and that's why they protest. Literally, TPUSA paid people to go door knock in Mesa County and knock somebody out from a local race there. Like, I swear, every accusation is a confession from MAGA. It's fucking insane.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Oh, welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is the Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for being here. Bert, Big Bad Bertrude, Las Vegas local, lounge singer, some may say, grifter, many will say, was able to save his home with one more week's rent. He had a friend. So this is all alleged. It was told to me in Discord. He had a friend of his go out and take a payday loan. You know, the loans that have like 3, 4, 500% interest. Take out a payday loan to pay his rent for a week. I want to show you the show from a couple days ago. It's insane, dude. The amount of grifting and watch this. We'll have to get through the things. If you need an ID to, what I don't understand, you need an ID to register to vote. Why do you need an ID again to vote if you're already registered? Let's skip ahead some. 31 down votes, 23 up votes. He's getting ready in the dark. I'll get you some audio in just a second. Here we go.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burt Lynch Show.
No, don't get confused. Bert did not get a payday loan. He had a friend of his go get a payday loan in their name, give Bert the money, and Bert's supposed to pay him back. This is bad. If it takes too long, it drags on too long, we'll go to the clips, but I wanted to see it organically first. Nobody should do that for him. Why the fuck is his shit whistling? It's squealing. They always ask for photo ID when I vote.
It's been a slow game, but actually just...
Oh, by the way, Bert was on the edge of eviction, and he took 3 days off to watch baseball. I was trying to get through all that feedback. He just now fixed it. Hold on.
I decided to go live because I don't know. Probably need the right mouse. Yeah. Here we go. So it looks like we might have a small crowd tonight because I don't normally come on Mondays, but I'm watching the football game.
Oh, disgusting, Bert. You don't come on Mondays?
It's been a slow game, but actually just as I decided to go live, the Dallas Cowboys score, and they brought themselves back into a position.
Imagine you're on the verge of being evicted. The landlord's breathing down your throat saying, where's my rent? Where's my rent? Where's my rent? I'm going to throw you out. Where's my rent? Where's my rent? And you're like, I think I won't work for the next 3 days because the World Series is going on.
And maybe tie this game up, but it's been a pretty boring game. And so I thought I would go ahead and go live and see who showed up. I see we've got Edith, Cam 1956, Susie is here, one Oscar is here, Crazy Goose just joined us. So I think we'll probably end up with a fairly decent sized crowd to adjust to this early nightfall crap. And so the sun sets to the west. He was going to do away with this fallback thing. And we talked about this when we sprang forward. And I got myself in a little bit of trouble because I kind of misquoted one of the rules or whatever. I remember that. And somebody coming at me going, Bert, you don't got it right. You don't understand. Okay, all right. You know,
Yep, you were wrong. And so confidently wrong. It was embarrassing.
If I got it wrong, I got it wrong. But
oh, let me grab a bottle of water. You just watch.
Everybody wants daylight savings to be permanent. And it's just, I understand we have a lot of stuff going on in our country, but we got time for that. We've got time for that if we've got time to build ballroom. I mean, you know, stop off, take a look at the plans for the ballroom, stop over at your desk, get that pen out, and say, daylight savings time is now, you know, we're going to spring forward and leave it forward. That's how I'm putting it. So that was the debate we got into before. Anyway, I'm not happy with the fact that it gets dark so early. It's very depressing. It makes it for a tough day. I got my window open and the sun starts
out of water. I got to get a new case.
Usually in the summertime, when I start my show at 6:30, it's over and the sun is still shining. And now when I start my show at 6:30, it's already dark outside by an hour or more. It's just weird. If I wanted to live in Alaska, I would live in Alaska. All right, so
yeah, Las Vegas, Alaska. You guys know.
So I guess we're going to be doing this for the diehards like myself, and for the people that watch the replay. And
don't sully the name of Die Hard. That's a great movie.
Yes, but I did spend quite a bit of time pulling together material for you guys because there's just a lot going on, and it looks like.
He talks about how the haters would love it if he gets evicted or whatever.
I want to go to the football game over here in the corner. There's 4 minutes.
I tell you what, Bert, I will pay next week's rent if you produce the evidence that both the women that formerly worked for you, the one that passed away, and Karen Kelly Rorick, both wanted to sleep with you like you said you've had many times. I'll pay next week's rent.
Minutes and 17 seconds left, and the Dallas Cowboys are down by 10. And somebody made the point to me the other day that no rebroadcast or descriptions of this game are permitted. So I'm breaking the rules when I'm doing play-by-play, I guess. I don't care. I don't care. That's how I feel. Someone sent me a screenshot of the hate site, or the hate
Here we go.
Group.
Here we go.
That's speculating, where's Bert? He hasn't done a show in 3 days.
Okay, again, now, he's on the verge of being kicked out. He's so far behind. Management of his apartment, his weekly apartment he rents, is trying to kick him out. He takes 3 days off to watch baseball.
Where is he? Did he get evicted? Well, do me a favor, check out the logo just for a second.
Would anybody else get away with that? And just play it off like no one would even say anything, especially like coming back to your show where you beg people to pay your rents and saying, oh, I'm about to get evicted. We really need this money. I'm going to be thrown out and not going to be able to do the show. I spent half the day looking for somebody to take care of my cat, but it won't be happy without me. Up here, grifting like Erica Kirk. And then people are like, well, where you been the last 3 days? Well, it was the World Series. I had to watch it on TV.
So the eviction is probably going to take place tomorrow because I'm just not going to have it, and they don't want me anymore. I've been able to get a little bit of help from a couple of people, but not enough. I'm still short by quite a bit, and I don't know what to do about it. Other than the fact that I am trying to get into a different line of work. I'll continue to do these shows when I can, but I put in applications and I did.
This is not true. I don't think he's looking for a job. I think he thinks he can threaten his audience. I think he's just doing it to threaten his audience, right? He says, oh, well, I'm looking to a different line of work, but I won't be able to do these shows. So if you like the show, you want the show to keep going. If you like that, then you need to donate.
I did get that one opportunity, but until I can get that vehicle, I'm not going to be able to do that either.
He said he's not allowed to manage a bar because the people that would hire him to manage a bar would Google his name, find out that he's some type of bar management savant, and they wouldn't hire him because they'd be afraid that he would take over their bar. I'm not making it. Chat can confirm that. I'm not making any of that up. He said they would type Burt Lynch in on Google, and when they found out how much experience he has with bars, they would be afraid to hire him because he would take over their bar.
So anyway, who knows? But it's not good. It's not good at all. I'm looking into doing the show on locals, and locals only.
Every time I Google his name, it says, "Did you mean Burnt Lynch?" And I'm like, no, I meant Burt.
Which may happen this week, which means that you will have to subscribe and pay a monthly fee just to watch the show. And I sat down and did some numbers and figured
So now he's thinking about doing all local shows. He only needs 300, 400 viewers every time he does a show.
out I will basically make, I would need a minimum of 300 people to watch the show.
Now, typically, he's thinking about going to all local show. Right now, when it's fucking free, he has like 30, 40 people, and like 6 of them are active in chat, and the rest of them are hate watchers. I know a portion of my Discord's always in his show, but he's just going to go to locals, and then he'll have 400 people or 300 people pay for his local show when it's not free.
Every day, or to subscribe to the show. It's 300 people. I have 405 followers. Let's just say all 405 of my followers also went over to local.
Let's just say that's fucking impossible, dude. If you have 1,000 fucking followers, you're lucky to get 20, 30 people that pay for it.
And did that, I would make enough money to continue to pay the rent.
It's quick to block.
But I may end up having to force my audience to pay it in order to watch the show. And I said, well, I'll lose a bunch of audience members. And as much as I don't want to sound crass, if they're not helping out, you know, I realize there are people who can't afford to do it, and I do.
As much as I hate to sound crass, if they're not paying me money, fuck them.
I understand that. But I can't afford to do it without some support. I just can't. And if I don't have...
Somebody sent 100% turnover rate. Put that in the chat. That was Michaela. I was looking up an interesting statistic, or it's interesting to me. We keep hearing about this. First of all, self-driving trucks are coming eventually. But until we get there, there's a hard push on that. They're actually testing some right now that still have a driver behind the steering wheel, but he doesn't do anything. They're testing them down in Texas. I watched a video on it the other day. But until we get there, we always hear the truck driving industry. There's not enough drivers, not enough drivers, not enough drivers, not enough drivers, not enough drivers. And never, ever, ever do the people hiring the drivers take accountability. Like, you know, the work life sucks. You know, dispatchers suck. The pay sucks. Everything about it, being away from your family sucks, right? And they could make that better by paying more, but they don't want to do that. They just want to say, there's no drivers, no drivers, no drivers. Do you know often that the trucking industry, during certain years, they will train more new drivers to be Class A CDL holders than all the drivers combined. Some years, they will train more new drivers than every driver in the U.S. because the turnover and people quitting and people getting out of it and doing something else is so fucking high. That's got to tell you there's something wrong with the job. That's an insane statistic. Could you imagine if fucking electricians, if yearly we certified more new electricians than all the current electricians combined? They're training to replace 100% some years, 100% of the drivers that exist. So where are those drivers fucking going? That's got to be. They've got to look at the industry and either pay them better or take care of them better or come up with something. Yeah, that's wild.
A miracle tonight. Tomorrow's going to be the worst day I've had in a year and a half. And I think you know what I mean by that. But that hate group, I don't know where's Bert. For 3 days, we haven't seen him. Well, let me tell you, Dingleberry and Karen.
Uh-oh.
It was the freaking World Series. And I told my audience I wasn't going to be here for the World Series.
Again. Burt Lynch is on the verge of getting kicked out. He says, management don't want me here. I haven't paid. The eviction notice is probably coming tomorrow. Where have you been the last 3 days? Well, the World Series was on.
I did 22 shows.
Is this your job or not your job? Bert needs to make $100 per show, minimum.
In October. That works out to an average of 5 shows a week. And out of 22 shows, I won't even tell you how much money we earned, but it wasn't $2,200. It wasn't that. And that's what it cost a month to operate. Basically, we need to make $100 on a show if I'm going to be able to continue to do this. So, if I can stop dodging.
I haven't fact-checked that, by the way, the train new driver. I just heard a guy that seemed like he knew what he was talking about the statistics. So maybe I should fact-check that. But when I heard that, it blew my fucking mind. If that's true, that's insane. No other job is like that.
The eviction notices long enough to figure out how to set up the local show, I'll do that. But if I end up getting thrown out of here, which I'll be gone by the middle of the week, then there won't be any more shows, which will make the people that hate me very, very happy. So I wasn't going to pitch this early in the show, but I already will if you want me to. Bert at BertLunch.com is how you Zelle or PayPal if you want to support the show. This first story I'm going to get into is the laws that are being passed to criticize, not allowing us to criticize a certain government. And it's not our government, but they're passing laws all over.
Uh-oh. All right. From that, we heard his little spiel. Let's go over to, let's do this. Go to the truth page and check out some of these clips. These clips are insane, dude. Local podcaster skips work to watch baseball. Shockingly, landlord unimpressed. Of course. Of course. I want to back up because we haven't covered Bert in a good while, so we'll have to grab some of these clips. See, these are even some old ones where he was lying about the job he was going to get and take and blah, blah, blah. There's the missing milk carton. Another throwback. To wish Bert a happy birthday, donate to Will Bird at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. That's right. You guys know the deal. Start here.
Until we have enough funds coming into this studio to just break even, I can't extend myself into anything else. And we're not breaking even. Every single week.
It's because they asked him to cover something else. He's like, I can't.
Pleading with the audience for some help. Every single week, things get shut off. And I have to get them turned back on again and pay the late fee and the reconnect fee. When you're broke, you stay broke. Because society will not let you be unbroke.
Society or the fact that you don't have a job?
You there. Until we have enough funds. You don't roll your window down when you pull up next to the homeless guy. I'm not giving you my $5 because it's probably not going to help you. I have taken food.
I'm not giving you my $5 because it's not going to help you.
I have taken food to homeless people. That's why you don't roll your window down when you pull up next to the homeless guy.
Hell, you are a homeless people.
$5.
We'll go up after this.
So I understand that. You guys can see that I have a show here and I do it for you almost every night. And I want to keep it going.
Almost every night, my ass.
I understand that.
All right, let's go up from here.
You guys can see that I have a show here and I do
Begging Bert. Begging Bert Lynch. All right, let's look at some of these are going to be throwback videos.
Diane Lusk
So someone in Bert's chat told him to get a temporary job waiting tables. What do you think his response was?
says a temporary job waiting tables. Where in the hell am I going to get a temporary job waiting tables in a town where the professional waiters are lined up to get the job? Do you think? I don't think you've ever been to Vegas.
Professional waiters lined up down the road and around the corner with their resume, cover letters, and CVs ready to go. Some of them bring their own fucking trays with drinks already balanced and just stand outside until there's a job opening.
The job. Do you think? I don't think you've ever been to Vegas. I can't stand people who think they know. You're gone, lady. I'm just done.
This was January of last year.
If I have to delete my whole dadgum audience, then that's what I'll do.
If I have to delete my whole audience instead of getting a job, I will.
Diane loves.
Mighty. Here's another one.
Why can't you guys just take what I say? Why can't you just say, well, we're with you, Bert, we're supporting you. If I tell you something can't or cannot be done, don't tell me it can be. If I say I can't just walk in and get a job, well, you can walk into this place and that place and get a job. No, I can't. If I could, I would.
2 years later, nothing's changed.
You people haven't been to Vegas. You do not understand it. Stop trying to tell me that I don't know what the flip I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. It was a bad thing that I got kicked out of my house. I made the wrong decisions. I trusted the wrong people, and I got.
You didn't pay the rent. You had all this money, and you apparently poured it into all this equipment for a studio that was in your home and didn't pay the rents. You could have waited on a fucking 2 cameras or whatever that you need, another monitor, and paid the rents. And then that check that was supposed to be coming would have been for the studio stuff. You made that decision.
A bad deal out of it.
I get paid once a month from the government. The first thing I pay, rent.
And I lost. I have got to make the best of it now and make a comeback. The only way I'm going to make a comeback is if I have enough folks on my side that want to help a guy.
Nobody can say anything negative about Bert because you're either with him or you're against him, right? Throw back to Bert's physical training exercises. Oh, no. Bert, let's tell the truth and tell everyone about all the exercise equipment you purchased with investor money and you didn't have the gumption to even take it out of the box. Ooh. Take it out of the boxes.
And I trained like a madman for 6 months. I should still be training, but I was trying to build a gym in my house so that I could concentrate just on the exercises needed for this arm. And I was in the process of that, but I had to quit because I had to dedicate the money to bills like utilities and things. So I couldn't concentrate on doing the...
So you were spending investor money on the studio and a gym?
Bills like utilities
and still didn't pay rent
and things, so I couldn't concentrate on doing the PT physical training that I needed to do, and I put it off, and now it's starting to atrophy again. It's becoming worse and worse, and so people were
the same guy that challenged me to a cage match because he knows Dana White
criticizing me. Why you've been spending time building a gym? And I
next.
And I would play someplace for a year or two. I played at the Excalibur for...
By the way, he doesn't gamble his money away. He's just always in these casinos, headlining all these shows and has none of it. So he claims he played at the Excalibur for 7 years, at New York for 2, playing at Hollywood for 2, and the Hilton for 4. His show.
And I would play someplace for a year or two. I played at the Excalibur for 7 years. New York for 2 years. Planet Hollywood for 2 years. The Hilton for 4 years. And I would play someplace for a year or two.
So the Burt Lynch Truth page says, okay, Sinatra, where are the flyers or the posters or literally one photo of this legendary Vegas residency? I want receipts or it didn't happen. Well...
Set a trash can down here and set the computer on top of it. Went to Walmart and paid $7 for a light so I could see the keyboard. Went to Amazon and spent $9 on a keyboard and a mouse. That's English because the computer that was loaned to me by a friend is a German keyboard and everything's written in German. So nothing's been easy. Everything I've had to do has had to be...
It's been so hard, guys. I had to buy a keyboard with English letters on it. Nothing's ever easy for old Bert.
It required me to jump over hurdles. So I went around and I got little pieces together to set this little tiny area up so I could talk to you guys. And then I'm using my phone as a hotspot because the internet here is terrible. Paid extra $50 a month for that hotspot. Bought the Fire Stick for $40. Downloaded.
You're homeless. Why are you buying these
I'm
things?
using, gosh, I can't think what it's called now. Sling. I had to download Sling
For $70.
I also had to download Pluto so that I could get a regular television show, because Sling offers nothing but Fox News and some stupid channels that who nobody would even want to watch. And so I've got basically 2 channels now: Fox News and.
So he can watch the news, so you don't have to. He spent all this money to put on this show. He's homeless.
What's on? The only thing I can find on Pluto worth watching.
If you don't want me to be homeless, go to buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer, where you can help pay my bills.
Is old episodes of SEAL Team. So I'm watching SEAL Team Marathon, 1 through 5 episodes, which is a pretty good show. Pretty good show. At least it makes me feel patriotic when I watch it. Set a trash can down.
SEAL Team makes me feel patriotic when I watch it. This one says he lied about jobs, rent, and money, and now he's adding typing speed to the. Oh, this is such a stupid lie. All right, so there is this woman. Her name is Barbara Blackburn. Okay, and for years she claimed to be the fastest typist. Right? She claimed to have 212 words per minute on a Dvorak keyboard. Now, she was in the Guinness Book of World Records for like 3 years. Maybe more than that, for like 5 years. But they ended up pulling her, mostly because nobody could confirm this. Even the one time she went on David Letterman, she only got like 70 words per minute, and they were all messed up. And she claimed it was some type of hardware issue or whatever. Basically, it was a marketing stunt. Okay, she knew the guy who invented. You know how your keyboard now is a QWERTY keyboard, QWERTY, QWERTY. Well, there's a different style of keyboard that's called Dvorak, Dvorak, and it's a different keyboard layout. And she claimed, at one time, 115, and then she went to like 120, then she went to 170, and then she said she went to 212, which was, like, people have passed that record now. Guinness Book of World Records doesn't keep up with it, but it's also weird, like the person who holds the record now, hers was for no amount of time. Usually, you say somebody can type 100 words per minute over a minute or over 5 minutes or over whatever, like over a period of time. Because like the fastest person now can type well over 300 words per minute on a modern computer for like short bursts or one sentence or whatever, right? But when you take it over like 5 minutes, they're around the 200 and some mark. The fastest typers in the world are like 200, 220 in the world now. And that was just recently that record was set. But what about Bert's girlfriend?
Casper says she took typing. She could type 75 words per minute. I had a girlfriend in the 90s that could type 200 words a minute. I think it was more than that.
More than that, even. Bert had a girlfriend. Unless he dated Barbara Blackburn, this super famous woman who ended up, it was a lie anyways, a marketing scandal. Over 200 words a minute? Barbara Blackburn, who was married, by the way, from Pleasant Hill, Missouri. Is that who you were dating, Bert?
They could type 200 words a minute.
I think he's just an habitual liar. He's one of those one-uppers, right? Somebody in the chat said I could type 75 words per minute back when I did it. I knew somebody could do 3,000.
I think it was more than that. She ended up becoming a transcriptionist for a doctor, and she would bring her.
So she's setting world records in the 90s on keyboards, and she went to transcribe for a doctor?
work home, and she'd have that transcription machine and a pedal on the floor with the recording in her ear, and she would just, it sounded like horses running across the room in that thing. She could type faster than anything. I'd never seen anything like it.
What a weird thing to lie about, dude. Just say, I had a girlfriend that could type really fast. I don't know what the words per minute was, but they were insane. But to lie about it, how fucking weird.
Well, Jeff, I've already started it, but it's.
So this was a job he supposedly had that he was training to manage someone else's Las Vegas show. So he starts off, Jeff says, what about the new job? And he says, well, Jeff, I already have it, but...
Well, Jeff, I've already started it, but last night's show I explained that for the month of February I'm going to be training, and then when this manager of this production transfers out, I'm going to be stepping in as the manager. But right now I'm just kind of training on every job. Stagehand, production people, everybody involved in the show, I'll be shadowing and working with and learning how they do it. It's their show. I'm going to manage it the way they want it managed. I don't own the show. I work for the people that own the show. I've got to do things their way, so I have to learn their way. And that's what I'm doing now until I step into that position. If I owned the show, I wouldn't have to do all this training. I'd walk in and say, put that over there, put that over there, you do this, you do that. That's not the job I've been hired to do. I'm not there to take it over and change it. I'm there to continue it on the path that it's on, which is a whole different mindset than coming in and taking charge, flushing the toilet, starting over. That's not what we're doing. I've got to learn their protocols and do it their way.
Okay.
I'm gonna do.
He's been a team player. 2 years later, no job. Here's what I was talking about. She went on Letterman. Here's her Letterman appearance, I think.
Do you take dictation off of a printed page or through your ears?
I take it through my ears.
Yeah. Now, do you understand what's going on? Do you comprehend what's going on, or do you just type it?
You have to understand it in order to be accurate and correct.
So you know everything that you type?
Basically, yes.
Okay. All right. Tell you what we're going to do. Let me bring out Barbara, the world's fastest typist, is going to go up against the fastest typist we have on our staff. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardest working production assistant in American television. Say hello to Barbara Gaines. Barbara, come on out here.
I don't think she expected this test. I think it was a media tour, right? She was all over news and this and late talk shows, and it was like a thing. But it turns out that was just all to promote the keyboard. Like, I just watched a stream on it from this guy, or a video on it from this guy named Carl Jobst, and he does like historical moments and different things. Anyways, he's got a YouTube channel, and he went back to try to find the origin of this 212 words per minute and could not find it documented anywhere other than she said it. And even then, I think she was working for the guy who developed the Dvorak. She didn't put in for the Guinness World Record, and they didn't come out and test her. Basically, what happened was she worked for the person who invented the Dvorak keyboard. That person passed away or something, but anyway, somebody bought his company. The person who bought the company just submitted a document that he signed that says this is the fastest typist in the world, over 212, or I'm sorry, I think he said like 180 or 170 words per minute, and submitted it, and Guinness World Record just reprinted it. They didn't even ask for proof.
Let me help you with that typewriter, Barbara. This is Barbara's first time on our show, and we're happy you decided to help. Now, how fast can you type a minute, Barbara?
I'm really nervous. I probably won't be able to type.
But what's your best time?
85.
85. Those are huge buttons you have on your sweater. Okay, Barbara Blackburn, Barbara Gaines.
Hi.
Ladies, now, she's one of our guests. Be a little more hospitable.
Nice to meet you.
Not to mention.
She came to us all the way from Salem, Oregon.
It's still a funny bit, either way.
I'd like you ladies to type. For 1 minute, we'll have a clock on the screen, and from the official Baseball Rules 1984 edition, they will be typing tonight Section 8.05, the balk rule. Ladies, are you ready? On your mark, begin typing. 1 minute here. Starting out with the balk rule. They have it in front of them.
It looks like the other woman's actually doing faster. I don't know if you're watching the hands or not. There's no paper in that typewriter.
Okay.
You can't tell how fast those look.
I guess maybe I forgot to explain that. Well, no way to prove it, is there? And I'm sorry. Yeah. Barbie, you.
All right, now we got paper.
2 out of 3. Okay, here we go again. Yeah. Seems the lovely dynamic.
And it was riddled with mistakes, apparently.
That's it. Okay. All right, tell you what, ladies, come on over here. We'll do a commercial, then we'll take a look at the results. Come on over here, folks. It didn't. Something very strange has happened. Barbara Gaines, our own production assistant, did a very nice job. I'm not sure how many words exactly, but she acquitted herself quite admirably. Barbara, nice job. Thank you very much. Now, Barbara, figure out how many words you got there in a minute. Now, Barbara Blackburn, something happened here through no fault of your own. I guess we got the bum equipment or something. Let me just read the first sentence.
See, she was just mashing fucking keys. None of it made any goddamn sense, and they're like, "Oh, it's a hardware issue." This is supposed to be. This lady types what twice, almost 3 times as fast as the other one, and lost.
N.I. Amok Vets. Nit Pintrol Veterinaristical Key Plane. Now, what exactly happened there? We screwed something up.
Something happened to the typewriter while it was here because
This smacks of organized.
It was all a scam. They scammed Guinness. Everybody scammed us.
Crime, if you ask me.
But Bert's girlfriend really did this. In case you wanted to know.
No, but in all fairness to you, apparently we had the wrong ball on your machine.
something has happened.
All right.
It was all right when I was supposed to be here last night.
Yeah, we'll get it to fix and you come back. But for right now, Barbara Gaines is the world's fastest typist. Barbara, thank you very much. I'm sorry about the trouble. We'll come back and do it again. We'll do it again. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
She never reappears. Actually, right after this aired and all this stuff came out about it, it was right about the time that Guinness pulled her from the Guinness Book of World Records. But Bert's girlfriend out here killing it. I don't know if you guys know. But there you go.
Casper, thank you for that suggestion. The answer to that is no. She says, do you think if you let your landlord know you got this job that they would give you more time to catch up? Absolutely not. They claim I took advantage of them because I took 3.5 months of saying to them,
Yeah. 3.5 months, no rent. Hey, man, I'm just waiting on the check in the mail. Any landlord would be like, what the fuck?
I'm waiting on a check, which I was, and the check never came. And then when the check finally came, it was the day after they threw me out. And then that person pulled
Always is.
and said, no, this money was intended for you to pay your rent with, but now that you've been kicked out, I'm not going to let that money go through to your account. I'm pulling it back. And they did. And now
Imagine that.
person is not, I haven't been able to communicate with them about anything in the future, so they may or may not be out of the picture. I think it's probably 90-10 that they're out, but maybe there's a 10% possibility that they're going to stay in once we sit down. I just don't know. But thank you for asking. And notice how I answered that without getting frustrated? Because some of you people are asking the sweet, honest, caring questions. And I was so defensive because there was so much trolling going on that I didn't like answering those things.
Imagine not paying rent for 3.5 months and your landlord being like, no big deal. We heard checks in the mail. Sometimes to mail something takes several years. So there's a bunch of these throwback clips. They're good.
And I would play someplace for a year or two. I played at the Excalibur for 7 years.
Oh, that's a repeat.
New York for 2 years. Planet Hollywood for 2 years. The Hilton for 4 years. And so
You can't find any proof of this, but Bert says so. That's a repeat again. All right, here we go. What are we up to now? The numbers are in. What we got?
So the eviction, It's probably going to take place tomorrow.
That's the one we just watched. Isn't it?
I'm just not, I don't have it. And they don't want me here anymore.
Someone came in on one of his shows and allegedly donated $300 to him. Someone donated with Apple Pay on one of his shows. We'll see the clip in a minute. And he said that Apple Pay was basically too complicated because he doesn't want to have either facial recognition or a password on his phone, so he had to get rid of it. And he tells them to take the money back from Apple Pay and send it a different way.
I've been able to get a little.
You ever heard that old saying about beggars and choosers? By the way, it's 25. Who doesn't have either a PIN code or a fucking, you draw on the screen on the little square, or facial recognition? The fuck is wrong with you?
A bit of help from a couple of people, but not enough. I'm still short by quite a bit, and I don't know what to do about it. Other than the fact that I am trying to get into a different line of work. I'll continue to do these shows when I can.
You'll see in the clip him describe it.
I put in application.
He had to delete the Apple Pay app because the only way it works is if your phone is locked. Yeah, because they don't want people using your Apple Pay if they steal your phone.
And I did get that one opportunity, but until I can get that vehicle, I'm not going to be able to do that either.
So he needs a car as well.
So anyway, who knows? But it's not good. It's not good at all. I'm looking into doing the show on locals, and locals only, which may happen this week, which means that you will have to subscribe and pay a monthly fee just to watch the show. And I sat down and did some numbers and figured out I will basically make...
I think you set your own price on locals. So if he sets it at $5 and says he needs $300, he wants $1,500 a month.
I would need a minimum of 300 people to watch the show every day, or to subscribe to the show. If 300 people, I have 405 followers. Let's just say all 405 of my followers also went over to locals and did that. I would make enough money to continue to pay the rent. And that's all I'm asking for.
If.
But I may end up having to force my audience to pay it in order to watch the show. And I said, well, I'll lose a bunch of audience members.
Yep.
And as much as I don't want to sound crass, if they're not helping out, you know, I realize there are people who can't afford to do it, and I do understand that. But I can't afford to do it without some support. I just can't. And if I don't have a miracle tonight, tomorrow's not going to be the worst day I've had in a year and a half. And I think you know what I mean by that. But that hate group, I don't know where's Bert. For 3 days, we haven't seen him. Well, let me tell you, Dingleberry and Karen.
Dingleberry and Karen.
It was the freaking World Series.
He might have 5 people. You're right. The people that are active in his chat might pay him for it. That's about it. And usually it's not everybody. It's like if I put mine behind a paywall right now, it wouldn't be everybody active in chat. It might be, I don't know, 30% of them.
I spent part of the day today.
Here's his sob story about the cat. Let's listen. Everybody get your tissues close. We're all going to have a good cry.
I spent part of the day today looking into the possibilities of having to find him someplace to stay for a while. Yeah.
The cat's so upset he won't even appear on camera.
I don't believe he would be very happy if I weren't there. Come here, sweetie pie. Come here. Come here. Come here. You're not going to let me pick you up. No, he's not going to let me pick him up. I don't want to be on your show, man.
I've been looking for somebody might take him in for when I'm homeless. And the cat's like, I don't want to be on your shitty show. Wait, has it been a year and a half? 1.5 years, not half a year. Yeah, it's been, that clip we were just watching was from January 2024, and he was talking about recently being evicted. He was evicted over Christmas. After not paying for 3.5 months.
I don't have Apple Pay anymore.
Here it is. Listen.
Apple Pay. I don't have Apple Pay anymore. It was such.
This is after someone said, I sent you something on Apple Pay.
As an Apple Pay, I don't have Apple Pay anymore. It was such a pain in the rear end to have Apple Pay on my phone that I'll have to check and see if I can turn it back on just to pull it out and then turn it back off again. But thank you for sending that.
This man, you guys know how often I'm on my phone all fucking day, right? Between work related stuff and news stuff and Discord and Telegram and looking up fucking electric code and I'm on my phone all goddamn day. Bert says he's so busy with his phone, he doesn't have time for a password.
If you're able to reverse
You're good.
the Apple Pay, I would suggest you do it.
Reverse it. I want to reverse the Apple Pay.
Because it is just an absolute nightmare to have it on your phone, have the app on your phone. So
You're good,
I use my
Steph.
phone way too much to sit there and have to do facial recognition and put in a passcode every time I pick up my phone and try to.
By the way, there is a fix for this, right? You can have trusted networks like your home network. Like my phone is set up when I'm connected to either my office or my home Wi-Fi, it doesn't ask for a password because I'm on a trusted network. When I leave those places, but still, I'm on my phone all the fucking time. You're telling me you're too busy not working a job and finding Alex Jones clips to have a fucking password?
Sit there and have to do facial recognition and put in a passcode every time I pick up my phone and try to use
Oh shit, Steph's got the German keyboard. Damn, that will slow you down.
it. I use it too much to have that. And that's what you have to have if you have an Apple Pay subscription or whatever. I tried it. But thank you. And if you can't reverse it, I'll figure out a way to get it out of there, and I appreciate it. I meant to mention that. Please don't use Apple Pay. I forgot to bring that up. I did say Zelle and PayPal, though, which is, I don't know why they make it so difficult, but I'm not a fan of Apple in any way, any shape, form, or fashion, other than the fact that I do
But he has an iPhone, he has Apple Pay, and he has a MacBook.
have an iPhone. And the iPhone, I do have one. And I avoided those for a long time, but I don't like Apple. I don't like the fact that I've got one particular piece of software that I have to have a MacBook Pro laptop to run that piece of software because I need the program that I have that runs my show on stage will only operate on an Apple product. The program is terrific, but the damn Apple product I got to use it on is a pain in the butt. I don't know why anybody deals with Mac, but they do. There's an Apple Pay.
I don't know why anybody deals with Mac, but I'm going to tell you why I have an iPhone and a MacBook. Well, you just told us. I don't know why anybody would ever use the MacBook that I own and use. Because it solves some type of problem like you're describing, or no? That's way out there, huh? I'm too busy of a man for passwords. This is a bot comment, by the way. So they're asking, meanwhile, on Bert's Rumble page, the night is young and all I can think about is the way your laughter fills the room. This is a bot comment. That's why it's vague and not about anything in the video. This is a cheap bot comment, by the way. The night is young and all I can think about is the way your laughter fills the room. What? Way too busy for a password, guys. What do you guys living in 2025? Bert's living in 2032, baby. No passwords, no problem.
Two people that aren't even in the chat room gave us a thumb up. Appreciate it. Really do. And there are those who I've seen it in the hate room.
How do you think Bert describes the people that give his show a thumbs down? What would be some descriptors he might use for people who give his show a thumbs down? Old, ugly, fat women with no lives.
So 2 people that aren't even in the chat room gave us a thumb up. Appreciate it. Really do. And there are those who I've seen it in the hate room that says they come over here and give it a thumbs up, and then after the show's over, they take the thumbs up down and make
No one does that. That's silly. Why would they even give it a thumbs up? Just give it a thumbs down from the get-go.
a thumbs down. I've seen them taking. They play a game. They do that over there.
Okay.
They're childish people. Immature.
It's called Get Bert's Hopes Up that people like his show.
People with no lives that do nothing but sit around and try to figure out how to harm others on the internet. They're internet bullies. And most of them are old, fat, ugly women.
Right?
The only attention they can get from a man is to make the man hate them. So they take it because at least it's attention. That's what it is. It's called a spade a spade. So 2 people that aren't even in the chat room gave us a thumb up. Appreciate it. Really do. And there are those who I've seen it in the hate room that says they come over here and give it a thumbs
No
up.
way.
And then after the show's over, they take the thumbs up down and make.
What would be the point of giving it a thumbs up, Bert? Local podcaster skips work to watch baseball. Shockingly, landlord unimpressed.
I'm going to break in here just.
You got to spell his name the way he prefers, with a U. B-U-R-T. That really makes him feel good about it. Bert says that if he doesn't have a show tonight, there may never be another one, and the haters will celebrate. He's done all he can do and tried all that he can try, but folks aren't tipping like they should. It's just a tip jar, like when you tip your waiter. Then comes the update. We fell behind again, and this property doesn't have forgiveness. His internet's due, the Wi-Fi's due, and so is the rent. In short, rent's due, tips are low, and the drama's right on time.
I'm going to break in here just for a second. I want to say thank you. We just got a donation. There's one more segment. We'll let her play, but we did get a donation. It was a nice one. It was a good donation. Thank you for that. I don't mention the names of the people who donate to protect them from being harassed by the trolls.
Oh, I would harass them so hard.
Quite a few people.
So hard, dude.
Take this opportunity to share with you what I shared with the people in the beginning. If I don't do a show tomorrow night, I won't do any more shows. It's as simple as that. For 2 weeks, I've been asking everybody that watches this show to help out.
If I don't do a show tomorrow, there'll be no show. Bertone.
We fell behind again in the rent, and this property has no forgiveness.
What property? I mean, unless you're like renting from a family member or a family friend, what property does, Bert? I've seen you personally come on here, talk about the place you're living now, which we have the address to. You're still there. And talk about probably at least 20 times that you didn't pay the rent. If that's true and you're not using that just for donations, what property would be like, there's people probably lined up to get these low, cheap apartments, and you're not paying. And you're definitely not paying on time.
They flip it like that. They want you gone if you're not paying. I understand they're a business. But the laws are different when you're in a weekly rental than they are if you're in a house. If you're 2 weeks late in a house, they can't do anything to you about it. And then you can get caught up and you can just deal with it. But if you're in a weekly rental, if you're 1 day late, they can give you a 3-day notice. They gave me a 7-day notice that expired 2 days ago. They gave me 1 day of grace period yesterday. There is no eviction notice on my door today, but there will be one tomorrow. Unless I manage to pay what I owe them tonight online, because there's an online portal that the tenants can use to pay their bill. If not,
that would be the only way. If he produces evidence that the two women that tried to help him out were actually trying to sleep with him instead, and I pay his rent, that'd be the only way I pay it, is through the portal.
Marshals will be here to slap a 24-hour on my door, and I won't be able to get out of it.
No
They
forgiveness.
slap a 24-hour on my door, it ruins my credit, and I can't even rent anywhere else. So I've sacrificed everything to try to be here every night. I did 22 shows in October.
Oh my God.
Average of 5 shows a week.
Oh my God.
I've done
Wait. Legend. Did you give him a thumbs up first? To really feel that low, you got to give him that little bit of a high.
at least 3 shows in November so far, and it's the 4th. We have, or maybe 2 shows in November. I could be wrong about that.
He doesn't even know. I've done 3 shows, and it's, well, maybe it's just 2.
We have a really loyal audience that watches, and there's only
That makes
2
sense.
people that
Legend can't give him a thumbs up, then a thumbs down because she's got a password on her phone, so Apple Pay works.
ever help out financially. And 2 shows in November. I could be wrong about that. We have a really loyal audience that watches, and there's only 2 or 3 people that ever help out financially. And as I told you guys earlier in the week,
I don't know why the audio is desyncing.
didn't want to switch to locals and have to charge my audience $10 a month to watch the show.
Oh shit, $10 a month, $300. That's $3,000.
If I did that and I only got 200 people watching the show every month, every night rather, I'd be making enough money to just break even here. It doesn't take much.
Well, that's, you could just say $2,000 a month. You don't have to describe it as, well, if 200 people gave me $10.
It doesn't take much to keep the doors open here. And because I don't have a car, I had a car accident a few months ago, and the car got totaled, and I've been trying to buy another car, but there were so many hoops I had to jump through to qualify, and things I had to pay, like insurance and catching up the insurance on the car that got wrecked and all these other things that cost me money. I did it, but I still haven't got the car.
Wait a second.
It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to keep the doors open here. And because I don't have a car, I had a car accident a few months ago, and the car got totaled, and I've been trying to buy another car, but there were so many hoops I had to jump through to qualify, and things I had to pay, like insurance and catching up the insurance on the car that got wrecked and all these other things that cost me money. I did it, but I still haven't got the car. So going and finding
So your insurance wasn't even current on the car you totaled.
a job and all that stuff without transportation is also tough. So I'm just going to be...
I've never heard a place say, oh, you totaled a car 6 months ago. Well, you still got to pay insurance on it for up until you buy your new car.
Straight up honest with you. We just raised a third of what I'm looking for tonight.
Oh my God. Is that the night that he got the $300, then $400?
Somebody just sent it.
Well, no, it might just be the $300. Maybe he's looking for $900.
It's $1,000.
Oh yeah.
If not, tomorrow...
$1,000 on one show. That's what he needs.
A job and all that stuff without transportation is also tough.
By the way, when he had transportation, hell, when he had a house, he wouldn't go get a fucking job. But now I don't have a car, so I couldn't get a job if I wanted to. But when you had a car and people were telling you to get a job, well, you can't be a waiter because they're lined up around the street. I can't work at a bar because they'll be afraid I'm going to take over the bar when they Google my name. I can't do this. I can't work that. I can't do... But now he doesn't have a car. 4 viewers, including one that's a couple. Yeah. They're sitting in the bed together, sharing the same Wi-Fi. I don't know if that counts.
So I'm just going to be straight up honest with you. We just raised a third of what I'm looking for tonight. Somebody just sent it.
He needs $1,000 tonight.
I have to...
This was yesterday, right? Yeah.
If not, tomorrow, I will have to pack up and leave this place. I won't have a choice. And I promise you that will be the end of this. I won't come back on.
He's back tonight, so must have made it somehow.
I will have no options.
Do you honestly think it's hard to tell with him because he lies and grifts so much, in my opinion? I know his shit isn't, surely to God, his one bedroom or one room apartment isn't $1,000 a month or $1,000 a week. I'm sorry. How much do you think it's real? And he's on the verge of getting kicked out and can't afford but one sock and can't afford to buy Diet Coke. How much do you think of that is, hey, let me tug on their heartstrings a little bit?
But to sell everything, I'll have to go to a motel.
Listen, Bert, you're a big Christian. God provides for those who follow him. There are trials and tribulations, but he that hath pulled himself up by his bootstraps. Thoughts and tariffs, buddy.
Somewhere. Christine, I understand that everybody is struggling right now. I do understand that. But when you got 400 people watching your show, I'm not asking for
You don't have 400 people watching your show.
400 people to send me $400 a piece. I'm asking for $5. It's like a tip in a tip jar. You've been watching.
I'm not asking for 400 people to send me $100. I'm asking for all 400 followers of mine, knowing that a large portion of those are people who fucking hate me or that I've banned or that watch Will on the Cold Beer Confessional. I'm asking all of those people to send me $5.
In the show. If this audience stepped up and helped all at one time in one night, we'd be fixed. It'd be no problem.
For a month.
And I'm asking you tonight to do that. Zelle or PayPal.
They've been fixing you. They've been providing for you. They've been paying for you for 2 goddamn years.
You need is Bert at bertlynch.com. And you can Zelle or PayPal a donation.
Zally me.
Somebody just donated $300. God bless you.
Zally me.
We need
The power of Christ compels you to give little Bert a little kiss.
I'm doing the math in my head. $900 more.
Wait, I thought you only needed 1,000. Now you need 1,200. He just raised it. He's like $1,000 is what we need. $1,000. Oh, somebody just sent me 300. We only need 900 more. Yeah, I just thought about it. Everything's due.
$800 more. $800 more.
800
to raise tonight. Now, every day that goes by, that bill that goes up by $100. So if I don't get it in before midnight, then I need to raise another, another 100. If you can help, please help. If you can't help, I'm not mad at you, and I'm not berating.
I just don't want you watching my show.
You.
And so help me God if you start talking about recipes in my chat.
But for months and months and months, and some years, folks have been watching this show, and you've known that I've struggled.
By the way, while we're talking about grifters and con artists, who the fuck told Trump that while the government was shut down, while food stamps weren't going out, while people were pissed about all that, that he should have a roaring 20s party at Mar-a-Lago? Like, even if he had it planned a year ago. Cancel that motherfucker, dude. That's such a bad look. What are you doing?
The whole time. This show has not caught on, partially because we have so many detractors and because we're on Rumble.
Remember when he was on Facebook? I don't know if you guys have been around long enough to remember that. I'm old enough to remember. Back when we were on Facebook, the crazy liberal leftist Facebook was hiding all his views from him. And after he'd put his show up and then 3 days later scroll through and say, oh, well, it's been seen by 1,000 people, then he had 1,000 live viewers, allegedly.
It's a two-edged knife. It cuts in both directions. You got freedom of speech, so they don't stop you from what you want to say, like all the other places do. But
Tell me about it, brother.
Traffic on this site.
No
The
traffic.
way for the traffic to
Bert's a fan of trafficking.
continue to grow is for the viewers
If anything, this stupid motherfucker should be thanking us because somebody's watching his shitty ass show. I bet he owes at least a quarter of his audience to me.
to share it. And I know for a fact there's only one viewer that watches this show that shares this show because I check every night.
I check. I go to everybody's Facebook. And see if they've shared my show. How fucking creepy. Could you imagine if I come into chat one time and I was like, oh, Sharon C512 found your Facebook and you didn't share the show. Okay? I saw it. I checked in. You're not even sharing the show. Sharon? Your name's Sharon. What the fuck are you doing?
The only way for the traffic to continue to grow is for the viewers to share it. And I know for a fact there's only one viewer that watches this show that shares this show because I check every night. All you have to do is share this show on your content, on whatever platform that you are on, and invite people. Just type it in. Go watch this guy. It's
All but a quarter of his audience? Probably. I know there are people that since I started covering him, watch him all the time and try to fucking get him caught up and do this, do that.
a good show. He engages his chat room, unlike many that don't. But you haven't. And it doesn't cost you a dime to do that. I love doing this show. But I love that cat more. And I'm not going to make him and me being homeless. He's over there playing. So I don't want this to be the last show. I want to be able to hit that online portal tonight and take care of my problem.
Who wouldn't say, like, you know, I'd like to check my account tonight and there'd be an extra $1,200 in there and I can just pay my bills. Of course.
We also have an issue with the internet. That's due again, too.
He forgot to add that in there.
I'm going to break in here just for a second. I want to say thank you. We just got a donation. There's one more segment. We'll let her.
Jesus Christ, dude. Jesus Christ. The reasons I am late for the start of my show. 1, I am at the Burt Lynch Truth page. I love that page. And 2, I only have one sock and I have to clean it out in the bathroom toilet and wait for it to dry so I can put together a proper show. The Burt Lynch Truth page. Imagine this guy. What the fuck is wrong with him, dude? The audacity. Let's see how he survived, because he came back live today. It was supposed to be over for him.
A very long time without getting.
Oh my God. Skip it. Wait, look at the way he strokes that cat. There's something going on there, right? From tip to base. All the way down. Cat giblets.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burt Lynch Show.
I got to speed him up. Sorry.
Say hello to Shadow. And there's the little guy right there. Yeah. Say hi. Say hi to everybody. Come on, you can do it. I hope everybody can hear okay. I have to switch screens so I can see the chat. Where is it? Where is it? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, yep. What do you think, everybody? Hi, everybody. Come on in the room. What you looking at? Huh? I hope everybody can hear okay. Let me know if the microphone sounds okay. Did some work on it today. I think it's better.
Full of buzzing, for sure.
Are you playing dead? Is that what you're doing? Huh? Is that what you're doing? Yep. There he goes. goes, you can't wiggle your tail when you're playing dead. You have to be really still. No, you're wiggling your tail. I shouldn't teach him to play with that. He'll tear it up. All right, I'm putting you down, so I'm going to work. Here we go. Get right up there. Go ahead. Atta boy. Do me a favor, check out this logo.
All right, we're back on the logo. How did he survive? How did he pull through?
Okay, hey, buddy. There, give me a little bit of light. Okay, so I hope the microphone sounds okay. I did some work on it today, and I've just got a couple of little tweaks to make here and there. I think we're going to be just fine. Let me see who's in the chat room tonight, and welcome on a Wednesday night. We made it to Wednesday, and as I told you last night, if I don't do a show tonight, there won't be any more shows. Well, I'm doing a show. Did we reach our goal? No, we did not. Are we closer? Yes, we are. Do we still need help? Absolutely. But we did fight them off, and we did avoid the eviction. Ain't that right, buddy? Yes.
Thank God. I could hardly sleep last night.
You can come back up if you want.
A Coke break? Yeah, probably. His money's going somewhere, dude. Especially if he talks about all these shows he did and all these bars he owned and all this money he has. He's like, oh, my wife took it all from me in the divorce. Then she tried to set me up to get me arrested, but I got her new boyfriend arrested. And you can't be this super braggadocious guy and then come on here and beg for just $5 so I don't get evicted in the morning.
So anyway, we're here, and I just want to, I'm dealing with a couple of technical problems, nothing big. You see me kind of a little bit distracted. I'm trying to avoid something from going wrong, try to fix it before it happens. There's that. And we're going to check out the chat room. Edith T is in the house. Number 711 was the first one in the room tonight. Robert Land and his lovely wife are here. Cran 45, Jam Witch is also with us tonight. Who else am I seeing here? Christine 98 is here. And BF McDowell. Well, hello there, sir. So I'm glad to see you folks all in the chat room so early. We still have some work to do to try to get everything fixed and straightened out. But I want to thank the 3 people that made donations, or 4 people rather, last night that made donations. You certainly a lot. And we're going to try to keep the
amazing
tonight so that we can get over all of these hurdles. We still have to finish with the rent situation, and we have to make sure that the internet stays on so that we can keep.
Still have to finish with a rent situation, so maybe he just paid partial rent. I know he claims somebody sent a $300 donation.
Doing these shows. I've got bad news for the trolls. They have nothing to celebrate today.
I'd celebrate live, buddy. I celebrate that I don't have to come on here and beg for $5 or I get evicted.
A month or 2 before you have to deal with that. Before you get a chance to deal with anything like that. It's not going to happen.
A month or 2. You pay rent every week, retard.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm exhausted. I guess I probably look it. I haven't slept. I did not sleep last night at all. I did not sleep all day today because I had to deal with the issues. The issues that have been in front of me today.
I could hardly sleep last night, wondering where Shadow was going to end up.
Dealt with some of it, but I had to stay up all night to do it, and I had to spend all day on it. And around 3 o'clock, I hit a wall. I wanted to go take a nap so bad, but I knew if I did, I wouldn't have a show ready for you guys, and I didn't want that. I noticed also on the fan page that people were making comments, and I thank you for your concern. I did not have time to go in there and do any chatting or any updates, so I figured, well, at 6 o'clock, I'll update everybody.
What the fuck do you need a fan page for? Do all 4 people gather there? Does Robert Land say, hey, Hilda, bring me a beer while I watch Bert on there? What the fuck? The fan page is really taking off. Sorry, I couldn't update it today.
I will be listening to this show and watching this show afterwards to see if this new microphone setting is better. I think it is. I hope it's a better sound. And
sounds like ass, bro.
But no more. I don't think I'm gonna have the feedback problems as long as we stay with this setting. So I think we'll be all right.
Yeah, it isn't. It doesn't seem like it's squealing as much. So maybe you got that figured out. The buzzing is killing me though.
Most of the stuff that's been going on today has been related to the elections last night. We're going to cover a lot of that, especially Mondani and everybody's take on him and things that are going on there. I'm seeing.
I was going to say how long before he asked for his first donation, but he kind of led with that, didn't he?
Okay, just making sure that somebody. I'm just reading some of these things. I don't need to respond to that. But the one thing that I've noticed all day long today is all of the people that are regretting what happened in New York. I got to be honest with you. I believe it's going to expose the far left to the point where we're going to easily defeat them in the midterms. That's not what you're hearing out of the mainstream.
You know, Trump called a bunch of Republicans to breakfast at the White House today and then berated them that the shutdown was making them look worse than it was the Republicans, knowing exactly it was their fault, right?
The mainstream media is saying it's just the opposite, that this means that the Republicans are in danger. Now, I will tell you that the Republicans need to get their stuff together, and they need to start actually creating some true, realistic.
Every person that Trump endorsed fucking lost, but yeah. It's really exposing the left. You're right.
Changes. We want to see lower prices. We want to see better economics in the large figure. It might be fine. But
we want to see bigger tariffs, which everybody knows means lower prices, right?
Like locally here in Las Vegas, it's horrible. It's horrible. We're not getting the big gas price breaks that everybody else is getting because we're stuck with California gas. So we don't expect to see that.
No one's getting big gas breaks. It's not happening.
But groceries have to come down, and all that stuff needs to start happening. That's like what I said the other day. You know what a difference it would have made in the minds of a lot of people. Donald Trump just stayed with his promise to stop with the daylight savings. Now maybe he'll hear me say this, and he'll come on and say, "This spring
the daylight savings is going to win them." That's it. That's all we need, chat. Daylight savings will actually fix the midterm elections. You know Trump's worried about the midterm elections because he's telling all the red states to fucking gerrymander. He started with Texas, and he's moved to several other states. I think Ohio's just doing it because it's their time to do it. But he's already asked other states to try to pick up seats. This guy's Burt Lynch. He's kind of a famous grifter. He's got a bunch of lore you'd have to go back on. Basically, he had investors telling him he was going to put on a show like podcasts like Alex Jones or somebody, and these investors dumped tons of money into his show he was building after he grifted for his cancer that his entire treatment was paid for by the state. He's going to start a podcast. He's going to be the next Alex Jones, the next Tucker Carlson, whatever. He had investors dump tons and tons of money in so he could build a full studio in his house, but he didn't pay his rent at the house for 4 months, so he got evicted. And since then, it's only gotten worse. It's never his fault. It's always someone else's fault. He won't get a job, says he can't. It's too complicated. He can't get a job. Won't move from Vegas. Got to live there. He's just a wild guy. Anyways, we're moving on from that. Tariffs. While we're on the topic of tariffs and everything being outrageously expensive, tariffs were actually argued today at the Supreme Court. Here's some excerpts from that.
President Trump's entire tariff policy may be in trouble. The Supreme Court heard almost 3 hours of oral arguments this morning in a case involving whether the President of the United States, not just President Trump, but any president, has the constitutional or even statutory authority to just willy-nilly impose whatever tariffs he wants whenever.
So
the U.S. government has had TikTok.
Oh, shit. That was my bad. The power to do this tax and import and tariffs technically belongs to Congress. The only reason that Trump is getting away with it is because he's using IEPA and calling it an emergency, right? And that's the argument they're trying to make, that trade deficit and potentially drug trafficking are such an emergency in the U.S. that Trump can impose whatever tariffs he wants. That's the argument they're trying to make to the Supreme Court. Sorry, it's going to start over, but that's because
President Trump's entire tariff policy may be in trouble. The Supreme Court heard almost 3 hours of oral arguments this morning in a case involving whether the President of the United States, not just President Trump, but any president, has the constitutional or even statutory authority to just willy-nilly impose whatever tariffs he wants whenever he wants for as long as he wants without the consent of Congress. Now, I listened to the entire oral argument, and before I really get into this, you must understand, just because the justices appeared to lean a certain way today does not necessarily mean that is how they're going to rule in the end.
They were pretty harsh on Trump's lawyer.
Trying to challenge
or the Solicitor General.
That said, today, the 3 liberal justices were obviously pushing back very hard on the Trump administration over these tariffs. But it was really 3 of the conservative justices, Justice Barrett, Gorsuch, and the Chief Justice John Roberts, who appeared extremely skeptical of the Trump administration's argument that the trade deficit and fentanyl is so grave an emergency that President Trump has every right under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act
IEPA.
tariff the entire.
I don't think he'll ever make a good argument that the trade deficit, we were doing pretty good. GDP was on the rise. We can't expect to have completely even trade with, especially like some of these smaller countries. That's insane. I don't think he'll ever successfully make that argument.
World, and Congress does not have to officially delegate that power to him, nor can the courts even question Trump on that action. It was Justice Neil Gorsuch who really hammered Trump's Solicitor General, using the Trump administration's own logic with a hypothetical about Congress just handing over the power to start a war to the president. And that.
So the Chief Justice comes up and says, well, this is a power of Congress. And you're saying they can just hand that over to the president anytime, or maybe the president could even take it? What if it was declaring war, right? What if this power that's held by Congress, we could do that with any power that's held by Congress? You're saying they could just hand it over?
Actually got Trump's Solicitor General to admit that, well, maybe Congress does have to.
So finally, the Solicitor General was like, oh, no, it can't just be, if we're talking about this, yeah, you're right. I withdraw that argument. It can't just be a wink and a nod that Congress handed it over to him.
Specifically delegate this extraordinary tariff power to Trump, and he can't just do it on his own.
So now you're admitting that there is some non-delegation principle at play here, and therefore major questions as well. Is that right?
Very limited, very, very deferential. Okay. Limited is what, and again, the phrase that Justice Jackson uses, it just does not apply. At least
I know, but that's where you started off, and now you've retreated from that, as I understand it.
Well, I think we would, as our frontline position, assert the stronger position, but if the court doesn't accept it, then if there is a highly deferential.
Can you give me a reason to accept it, though? That's what...
Solicitor General is basically just the head lawyer for the government.
I'm struggling and waiting for. What's the reason to accept the notion that Congress can hand off the power to declare war to the president?
But we don't contend that. Again, that would.
Well, you do. You say it's unreviewable. There's no
unreviewable. So what does unreviewable mean? The courts can't even look at it. If we're in control, so like if the Republicans are in control of Congress and they're not contesting that Trump has this power, not only does Trump suddenly have this power that's never been given to him officially, but courts can't even look at it. Non-reviewable, right? That means a court can't even say, wait. Is he allowed to do this?
Manageable standard, nothing to be done. And now I think tell me if I'm wrong. You backed off that position.
Maybe that's fair to say.
Okay, all right.
That would be, I think, an abdication. That would really be an abdication, not a delegation.
I'm delighted to hear that.
So that's pretty harsh, right? So tell me if I'm wrong, but you've now backed off that position. Maybe.
Side note, no, I did not speed up Trump's Solicitor General's comments. He was literally talking a mile a minute during today's oral argument. I mean, I know I talk fast, but he was really putting me to shame today. In fact, Justice Jackson commented on how fast he was.
Here's what I want to know while we're talking about RFK's speech pattern. If we put him in front of a box fan, does it straighten it out? Like, as a kid, you used to talk in front of the fan. If we put RFK in front of a box fan, does it fix it? That's what I want to see fucking the national laboratories focused on.
Talking. Okay, back to the substance here. The Supreme Court was really focused on the meaning of specific words. They focused on the specific language in the IEPA law, that law from 1977.
This IEPA law does not ever once anywhere in it say the word tariff. It just doesn't. And though presidents have used it before, no president's ever used it for a tariff. Okay? IEPA Title 50, 1701 through 1707, it authorized the president to declare the existence of an unusual or extraordinary threat to the national security, foreign policy, or economy of the United States that originates in whole or substantial part outside the United States. It further authorizes the president, after such a declaration, to block transactions or freeze assets to deal with the threat and require the president to report to Congress every 6 months on the circumstances, threats, and the actions taken. In the event of an actual attack on the United States, the president can also confiscate property connected with a country, group, or person that aided in the attack. But as we all know, yes, sometimes countries will lower the price of something or absorb some of the costs or whatever, but we're paying the tariffs. IEPA is set up like this country's fucking us over somehow, so we're going to seize their assets in the U.S. or they attacked us, we're going to seize their property, or we're going to do something like that because this country's fucking us over. Trump declared every country was fucking us over, put tariffs on it, and the vast majority of those tariffs are paid by U.S. citizens. He's not even affecting that country.
Gives the power to regulate importation to the president during an emergency, but the law never once uses the word tariff. And several of the justices pointed out that no president, since that law was enacted, has used IEEPA to impose any tariffs, let alone massive tariffs on the entire world. The other word that Trump's Solicitor General focused on was the word tariff. He says the Trump administration does not view tariffs as a tax. Instead, they see it.
But they are a tax, right? We're bearing the brunt of that tax, or at least the importers are. Even if Walmart absorbs it, Walmart's still an importer. Even if China says, hey, well, we'll reduce the cost by, 30 cents per unit to help offset, we're still absorbing that, right? They want to argue that in a perfect world, no one would buy anything from overseas and only buy American, which we don't even make every fucking thing here, and then nobody would be paying a tariff. But he finally makes them admit that it is in part importers and consumers paying the tariff.
As an important bargaining chip that the president is using to bring all these countries to the negotiating table. But Chief Justice John Roberts had an issue with that.
Yes, of course, tariffs in dealings with foreign powers, but the vehicle is imposition of taxes on Americans, and that is always...
Right. The Chief Justice is here saying the vehicle that gets them to the negotiation table are taxes on Americans. Everybody's paying these taxes, right? Even if you buy an American-made product, it doesn't matter. Materials, tooling, everything else that went into making that is gotten more expensive.
In the core power of Congress. So to have the president's foreign affairs power trump that basic power for Congress.
Imagine if Trump just came out and said, we're going to put an extra 10% tax on everybody in the U.S., or 50% or whatever, tax on everybody in the U.S. because China's really pissing me off.
It seems to me to kind of at least neutralize between the two powers, the executive power and the legislative power.
Let me say two things in response to that. First, the notion that the taxes are all borne by Americans and are not borne by foreign producers.
Are all born by, there are times where a producer really wants to make a sale, has a good client or whatever, and they say, okay, well, we'll reduce it by such and such per units to help you offset that. But they're not paying the entire portion of 147% tariff. It's not fucking happening.
Whose goods are imported is empirically, there's no basis for that in the record. It's actually a mix.
Well, who pays the tariffs? If a tariff is imposed,
he just said it's a mix
on automobiles, who pays them?
Typically there'd be regardless of who the importer of record is, there'd be a contract that would go along the sort of line of transfer that would allocate the tariff, and there'd be different. Sometimes the foreign producer would pay them. Sometimes the importer would bear the cost. The importer could be
importer is an American company. It can be an American.
American could be a foreign company. A lot of times it's a wholly owned American subsidiary.
It doesn't matter. Even if the tariffs are only hitting Americans, probably 90% of the time, but let's say it's only 10% of the time, it's still a tax on Americans.
Foreign corporation.
It's been suggested that the tariffs are responsible for significant reduction in our deficit. I would say that's raising revenue domestically.
Raising revenue domestically, what is that called? Taxes. What is that? That's not within the president's purview. It's not within his powers.
Certainly is an incidental and collateral effect of the tariffs that they do raise revenue, but it's very important that they are regulatory tariffs, not revenue-raising tariffs.
Yes, you heard that correctly. Trump's Solicitor General just said to the United States Supreme Court that there is no evidence in the record that...
He's saying we're using that to regulate something. We're not, even though they raise revenue, we're not doing it to raise revenue. But every time Trump goes somewhere, all he's talking about is the revenue he raised.
Tariffs are being paid for by the American people. He just said those tariffs are being paid for by foreign countries and foreign importers.
If you want to support if you're MAGA and want to support Trump's tariff policy, then every time he says the word tariff, replace it with the word tax. And if you would still support that, then fine. You genuinely support it. But most Republicans would not support it.
That's, of course, not what the Federal Reserve says, but whether you're feeling the impacts of tariffs in your own pocketbook is something that you can decide for yourself. One last piece of this case before we wrap it up that you have to understand. If the Supreme Court decides that Trump's sweeping reciprocal tariffs are unconstitutional, which the lower courts have already found, they said that the Trump administration would have to issue tariff refunds to every.
If they're found unconstitutional, everybody's got to get a refund. Whoever paid them is getting a fucking refund. I would keep that in mind.
One who has paid them. While Justice Amy Coney Barrett was skeptical of Trump's sweeping use of tariffs, she was equally skeptical about this whole refund part of the equation.
If you win, tell me how the reimbursement process would work. Would it be a complete mess? I mean, you're saying before the government promised reimbursement, and now you're saying, well, that's rich. But how would this work? It seems to me like it could be a mess.
For our case, the way it would work is, in this case, the government stipulated for the 5 plaintiffs that they would get the refunds. So for us, that's how it would work. Your question,
So the 5 companies that come together to sue the government, they would get automatic refunds, but they're asking more broadly about everybody else.
It is about everyone else. We don't have a class action or anything like that. With respect to everyone else, there's a whole specialized body of trade law, and it's in 19 U.S.C. 1514 outlines all these administrative procedures. It's a very complicated thing. There's got to be an administrative protest. There was a harbor management case earlier that this court was involved with in United States Shoe, in which, the refund process took a long time. There were any number of claims and equitable relief.
So a mess.
So it's difficult, absolutely.
So the last thing I want to address is when the Supreme Court is going to actually rule in this case. Now, normally a ruling in a huge case like this would come at the very tail end of the Supreme Court's term in late June. But the court took this case on an emergency basis. So it is very possible that we could get a ruling in this case within the next month or two. I'll keep you posted. President Trump's entire.
Okay. Now, what I want you to take away from that is all that. Like, it's probably illegal. It does seem like the justices are on the side that it's illegal. Maybe they're just testing out the theory, but it does seem like, from the outside looking in, that it's going to be struck down. Now, again, when it gets struck down, people who paid a tariff, if it's unconstitutional, are entitled for a refund. I think, personally, that people within the administration know this. They know it's going to be struck down as unconstitutional. Why do I think this? Well, there are people within Trump's administration that own companies. And these investment companies are going to large businesses who have these gigantic tariff bills, and they are offering to pay a percentage of their tariff bill, pennies on the dollar, like, hey, we'll pay 2% of your tariff bill if you relinquish your tariff voucher to us. What is a tariff voucher? A tariff voucher is a sheet that you get that says you paid this tariff that's been set by the president. But if they're ruled by the court unconstitutional or whatever, we'll refund you. There are people within Trump's administration that are buying tariff vouchers for pennies on the dollar, and if this gets overturned, they're going to make 100x their money. Why would people from Trump's administration be investing in tariff vouchers? Because they know what's about to happen.
Major scandal breaking that nobody's talking about. The Supreme Court's currently weighing in on the legality of Trump's tariffs, which will be overturned. This administration and the federal government mailed out letters to all these businesses stating that you may have a potential tariff refund coming. And it's something that people can sell. And can you guess who has been buying up all of these vouchers for pennies on the dollar? That's
who?
Right, Howard Lutnick and his son.
Howard Lutnick and his son and their company, Cantor Fitzgerald, are buying up the tariff refund vouchers. So when this is ruled unconstitutional, the companies he bought it from and said, hey, we'll pay 2% of your tariff or 3% or 1% or whatever, are entitled to no money because they bought the receipt. And it looks to the government as if they paid the tariff. So when these vouchers are qualified, right, because it's overruled, his investment company that he runs with his son is going to get the full fucking refund. how goddamn disgusting. Just when you think they can't get more corrupt, they invent a new way to become more corrupt.
From Cantor Fitzgerald have been buying up these vouchers for months. Guys, we are talking hundreds of billions of dollars stolen from the American people. Ultimately,
who wouldn't put in, I don't know, $100,000 or $500,000 if you had it, and 100x your money, or 50 times your money, or whatever? We'll pay half your tariff bill for you, but we need that tariff refund voucher.
that business passed that tariff on to us, and people aren't talking enough of how much.
And we paid the tariff. The consumers paid the fucking tariff because the companies raised their prices to offset the tariff. And Howard fucking Lutnick is going to take all that fucking money.
Much of a transfer of wealth this administration has been. The largest in recorded history. And after the first day of deliberations over the legality of these tariffs.
But don't worry, chat. The Senate, Ron Wyden and Elizabeth Warren launched a probe into Cantor Fitzgerald, the investment subsidy under Howard Lutnick and his son, and how they're 100xing their money. I'm sure that'll go somewhere in the Senate or the House while they're controlled solely by the Republicans, right?
Can't see the writing on the wall and that they're going to overturn Trump being able to do the tariffs because he has no legal precedent. This isn't an emergency at all. Howard Lutnick, his children, and this administration stand to make hundreds of billions of dollars. Stop the steal. We have a major scandal breaking that nobody's talking about. The Supreme Court's currently weighing in on the legality.
How fucking insane is that? How fucking insane. They know it's probably going to get overturned, or at least they're betting with their fucking billions of dollars that it's going to get overturned. This has been going back all the way through like fucking back to July. Cantor Fitzgerald, a financial services company led by the sons of U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, has offered to buy the rights to hundreds of millions of dollars in potential refunds from companies that have paid Trump's tariffs. The offer means that the sons of the pro-tariff Commerce Secretary, Kyle and Brandon, have made a way for investors to bet that President Donald Trump's signature tariffs will be struck down in court. Not like they have a conflict of interest or it's just their dad. Lutnick has been one of the most vocal supporters of the president's tariff policies. According to him, tariffs can potentially raise hundreds and hundreds of billions of dollars in revenue for the U.S. His reason is that the need for Americans making under $150,000 to pay taxes will eventually be eliminated. They're selling it as you'll never have to pay taxes again. According to the court, if Trump's tariffs are permanently blocked, businesses that began paying Liberation Day tariffs on April 2nd could be refunded with interest. And now Cantor Fitzgerald is jumping at this opportunity. Here's the deal. According to reports, a representative from Cantor said the firm is willing to trade tariff refund rights for anywhere from a 1% to 30% of what the companies have paid in tariffs. The representative wrote, so for a company that paid $10 million, maybe we send them $2 or $3 million in a trade, and we have the capacity to trade up to several hundred million of these presently and can likely upsize that in the future to meet potential demand. Some companies are sold. It is too suspicious that a 20-year-old made the decisions by themselves. There are arguments that most companies raise prices to offset the cost of tariffs. Therefore, it is the consumers who would be owed that money and affected the most. Also, because of the uncertain timeline and mounting financial pressure, some companies may decide it's wiser to just accept the offer because they don't know which way the court's going to rule. In addition, others don't want to deal with the court directly. Ryan Peterson, CEO of logistics technology company Flexport, said, when you file those things today, it takes 6 to 12 months. So they're saying, like when they were saying it's going to be a clusterfuck to get your money back, some companies are saying, look, we think it's going to be overturned too, but we would rather take the $2 million from them today and have it rather than fight in court for the next year after it's overturned to get our $20 million back or whatever. This is so fucking insane and nobody's even talking about it. But don't worry. Lutnick added that he's not involved in any of this. That what his sons do at his firm that he handed off to them, what his sons do have nothing to do with him and how he advises the president or what he hears from the president or the Supreme Court or anybody surrounding. He doesn't even take that into account like a good boy. They're inventing new ways to be fucking slime balls and steal money from the American people. We already paid for the if anybody deserves that refund, it should go to the company, and the company should distribute it to the people who fucking bought from them. No? That's who paid the tariff. Nope, it goes to Howard Lutnick's sons. I'm sure they're probably just struggling to get by. Hell, they might be in bad shape now that food stamps aren't going out this month. They probably need it more than we do. Fucking pieces of shit. I'm going to watch this so Bert doesn't have to.
I honestly feel bad. I have friends of mine in New York. My phone is blowing up. They are officially depressed and scared. If you would have told me 24 years after 9/11 that somebody that was that radicalized would win this dramatically, I wouldn't have believed it.
Suddenly they're the party of free markets? Yeah. Oh, except for our communists in New York City? If Democrats saw last night and said, great, we're in great shape. They're cooked.
What we saw last night across the board
baby.
Is that young American women are very much far left, and they are buying into all of that. But they have been since, well, some of them since they were young little girls.
I find that very frightening.
What happened on election day? We got blown out of the water. It was a clean sweep.
You saw Barack Obama toying with socialism, kind of saying, I'm not a socialist, just spread the wealth. And now you have a socialist, I refuse to call him socialist, he's really a communist.
Oh man, it's like a funeral in here, huh?
No.
You gotta lighten up. Nobody has died, you're right.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about the next bad news.
I honestly feel bad. I have friends of mine in New York. My phone is blowing up. They are officially depressed and scared. If you would have told me 24
They're
years
depressed and scared.
9/11 that somebody that was that radicalized would win this dramatically,
less people than you can count on one hand. Less than 5 fucking people. Less than 5 fucking people control more wealth in this country than the bottom half of the rest of the U.S. And they're worried about food stamps and health care. If you took the poorest half of America and put all their wealth together, you wouldn't touch the less than 5 people at the top, including Elon Musk and those. Fucking insane, dude. Anyways, this is what's going on in my town.
Fuck up! Fuck you gonna do about it? You want back the fuck my man! Back the fuck up! Fuck you! The fuck with me today, ho!
What's up?
Damn, dotted them eyes.
Come on, I dare you, bitch.
Outside.
I fucking dare you.
Outside.
Get the fuck off my fucking man. And I'll kill you.
Your man's right here.
That's why you in his face. Stay the fuck out of his face.
Get the
I swear to God, I'll hurt you bad.
You want to
Bitch, I'll
bet?
make
Look at this OSB homemade table.
you see Jesus. You want to bet?
Don't
go there. Don't do it.
Get the fuck off me, you retard.
Oh, good. What?
Outside. 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 You're gonna hurt her, pal.
Guys, go easy on Aunt Janet, okay?
Outside. Bitch, I'll blast you with this. Don't let you fucking
Please
brain.
don't do that. Don't belong to her.
You gonna do better.
Now we don't know what happened. Great. That's where it ended. Good fucking job, chat. You scared them off. You scared them off. Good fucking job. What about us shooting an American citizen in the back and then not preserving any of the body cam footage? Par for the course or no?
So the American citizen who was shot, our client, we've been waiting to hear back from the Department of Homeland Services and ICE about our preservation letters and say, hey, can you please preserve, if you got body cams, if you got any evidence and videos, just preserve it. So we sent it to them. And
a preservation letter is always the start of everything.
This is their response.
Hello, Mr. Jackson. Please provide us with the case citation number for the lawsuit associated with this preservation notice. We are unable to locate the case you are referencing with the current information provided. Thank you. You don't need a lawsuit or a citation number for the lawsuit to ask for an evidence preservation letter. First of all, you shot American citizen in the back. You should already be preserving this shit.
Is this the Speaker of the House response? It's I don't know what you're talking about. Look, Law School 101 tells you that you don't need a lawsuit for a preservation letter. It's a presumption. So, here's my...
Somebody could send me a preservation letter today, and I don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, right? Other than the things that they want me to preserve. It's because they're considering future litigation, and they don't want evidence destroyed.
Response. I'll put up there a few times.
You do not need a lawsuit in order to file a preservation letter. You are a government entity and a government claim form first. Then you have 6 months to respond. Only then can something. Does he zoom out?
Department on what a preservation of evidence letter is. Again, send them the complaint.
Oh, here we go. You do not need a lawsuit in order to file a preservation letter. You are a government entity. We have to fill out a government claim form first. Then you have 6 months to respond. And only then can we even file the lawsuit. This preservation letter is commonly used in case the evidence is later lost or destroyed. Then there is a presumption of fault, negligence, guilt, along with sanctions. Please confirm you are maintaining all evidence and nothing is being destroyed. We want all body cams, videos, witness interviews, and statements, all AI transcripts used, all correspondence, all photographs, all reports, etc. Your officers pulled a gun on Carlos in Ontario last Thursday, then shot him in the back, then arrested him, then released him when you found out he was a U.S. citizen. It is all over the news. Here's a link to the complaint. Here is the complaint you filed against him. He still has a bullet in his body. Thank you.
They filed against our client and remind them that they shot a guy in the back and the bullet is still in his body. Is this what we're going to do? Is it just going to pretend like nothing ever happened and there's no body cams and there's no evidence out there? I'll continue to show you guys the truth. I mean, this is what we're dealing with here.
Carlos Jimenez, a U.S. citizen, was shot in the shoulder as he drove away from federal agents after warning them that school children would be gathering where the agents were located, his lawyer claims. Jimenez, a father of 3 who lives in a mobile home park, was headed to his job at a food bank when he saw agents' cars blocking traffic. His attorney, Cynthia Santiago, told ABC News. He goes out and says, "Excuse me, can you wrap this up? There are kids that are coming out." And he was met with a lot of aggression, Santiago said. The lawyer said that after an agent pulled out pepper spray, Jimenez began to maneuver his vehicle to get around and was shot in his back, through his shoulder, through the back passenger window. According to Santiago, her client called on 911 and went to the hospital, where he was later arrested and detained. He was charged with assault on federal officer on Friday and released on bond. According to the complaint filed by federal prosecutors, after Jimenez engaged in a verbal altercation with the officers, he pulled forward, turning his wheel, and then rapidly accelerated backwards, causing one of the officers at the scene to fear Jimenez would hit him and another car. The ICE officer
Elections are now less than a year away.
The ICE officer, fearing for his life.
Sorry. Now to the battle unfolding at the Supreme Court over.
The ICE officer, fearing for his life, fired his defensive shots at the vehicle, said Department of Homeland Security spokesperson Tricia McLaughlin. We know she lies to her fucking teeth. The subject fled the scene and abandoned his vehicle. He went to the hospital. Jimenez's attorney, however, said that their client could have died and that the shooting should be investigated. The escalation of violence in this community, the improper training, they're not adequately trained. Santiago said of the influx of immigration agents being deployed as part of Trump's administration's aggressive immigration crackdown, and their use of our communities as their training grounds is very unsafe for those with or without status. Jimenez's attorney said they first planned to file a legal claim and later file a lawsuit seeking monetary damages for his medical bills, lost wages, and emotional trauma. It impacted Jimenez's entire family, said Santiago, who called the incident a complete horrendous situation where all he was doing was trying to protect the kids that were going to come to that bus stop.
Literally I don't know what you're talking about. So the American citizen who was shot, our client.
How fucking insane. A U.S. citizen shot in the back. What is this? Sevi fell into trial by fire, but was opposing counsel that got torched. Oh, it's something about his law firm. Is that not insane? The guy tried to tell him, like, hey, there's going to be a bunch of kids here. You're set up in front of a bus stop. What's going on? Doesn't matter. Fuck them. Shoot him in the back.
Christianity is under attack in America, not by outsiders, but by Christians who have traded the kingdom of God for the kingdom of this nation. Let's hear what the pastor has to say.
Since the term Christian has been hijacked, co-opted, colonized, and subverted by people who claim the title Christian, but reject the message of Christ. Let me say it and get in trouble here. Joel Osteen and I.
What do you think the chances are they lose the body cam footage?
Read the same scripture, but I'm not sure we serve the same God. Paula White and I read the same scripture, but I'm not sure we serve the same God. Charlie Kirk and I read the same scripture, but I'm not sure we serve the same God. Do you not know you can read the same Bible and encounter a different God? James Cone says it this way: the God of the oppressed is not the God of the oppressor.
That was Pastor Reverend Dr. Otis Moss III, who is, I think, one of the best preachers doing it in the world right now. And his sermon reminds me of this little bit of history. After the Visigoths sacked Rome in 410 CE, it was like a profound psychological shock, because for centuries, Christians had lived under protection and the dominance of the Roman Empire. And many had kind of come to assume that the fate of Rome and the fate of Christianity were linked. In response to...
That's not how Christianity works. There are no Christian nations. There are nations where Christians live. Once you tie Christianity to a nation, it almost always trends towards this authoritarian Christian government, the divine will of God, blah, blah, blah.
Probably the most widely known and respected church father, at least in the West, St. Augustine.
Same thing really with any religion, right? When you have a Muslim country or whatever, right, there's usually some type of oligarch that's in power and it's a power grab and it comes down from the top and we start beheading people and shit like that. Same thing with Christianity.
wrote a titanic work called The City of God to break that assumption. Augustine argued that Rome was not and had never been identical with the kingdom of God. And to explain this, he introduced the idea of two cities, or rather like two orientations of love. The first is the city of man, which he says is shaped by the love of power, or like the drive to secure one's own advantage, status, or identity. The city of God, on the other hand, is shaped by the love of God and neighbor, which expresses itself in things like mercy and humility, justice, and care for the vulnerable.
They're not worried about power because it's face persecution. We got to be in power and make everybody. They're worried about their neighbors and mercy and the things that Jesus actually stood for.
Two orientations run through every society, including Christian ones. And I would say that there is no Christian empire, and that's what Augustine is getting at. There's no such thing as a Christian nation. There are only nations in which Christians live. From Augustine's perspective, the danger arises when Christians begin to treat the nation that they live in as if it were the kingdom of God itself. And once that happens, national power, it essentially just gets interpreted as divine will, and basically loyalty to the state becomes complete.
When you combine religion with the country, you try to make that country into like heaven on earth, and you start almost worshiping that country. That's not the way it works.
Intertwined with what they view as loyalty to Christ, which is precisely what Augustine is seeking to prevent. And you can see this dynamic in America today laid out in several ways in our contemporary political landscape. When Christians support policies that reduce assistance to the poor
By the way, this was written in the 5th century, and it's happening right now, and people are acting like they're confused. They've never seen nothing like it.
Grounds that poverty reflects personal failure, what they're doing is prioritizing the values of self-sufficiency and productivity over the gospel's concern for the vulnerable. This aligns more with what Augustine called the city of man than it does the city of God. Likewise, when Christians defend harsh treatment of immigrants, including those who've simply done something like overstayed a visa, which is a civil violation, not a criminal act, it's not a crime, what they're doing is elevating national security above the practice of hospitality and mercy. And when Christians support economic systems like capitalism that rely on underpaid labor domestically or exploitative supply chains internationally because they contribute to national prosperity, what they're doing is accepting what Augustine would call the peace of empire, which is a stability that's purchased at the expense of others. Now, he's not saying that Christians have to reject political life altogether, but he is saying that that political life must always remain secondary to the ethical commitments the gospel puts on Christians, what it requires of you to be a follower of Christ. And this is where the distinction between the two kinds of cities or orientation of love really starts to matter, because the city of man seeks order through power, whereas the city of God seeks peace through mercy. So whenever Christians find themselves supporting policies or systems that require the suffering of others for the sake of national strength, Augustine would say that the nation has become the object of their devotion and no longer Christ. And I think that this is what Jesus is being depicted as talking about in Matthew chapter 7 when he says, "Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inward are ravenous wolves." And then he says that you can tell the difference between the sheep's and the wolves by their fruits. And he asks, are grapes gathered from thorns or are figs gathered from thistles? A little later he says, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. On that day, many will say to me, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name and cast out demons in your name and do mighty works in your name? And I will declare to them, I never knew you. Go away from me. You see, it's impossible for someone who is in love with the city of man to enter the kingdom of heaven, because they are declaring their citizenship lies with those who want to seek power to rule over and uproot and destroy, instead of their identity being with the kingdom that calls them to be peacemakers, to live humbly, and to serve their neighbor and the stranger. Christianity is under a
Christians can't see it here. I got one more thing for you. I wanted to remind you that 6 months ago, Scott Rogers' apartment caught on fire, okay? And they moved him to a brand new apartment. It was big. It was a faulty dryer vent, and the lint caught on fire because they never cleaned. They're disgusting people. That was 6 months ago. They got a brand new apartment. So let's check in and see what Scott's room looks like now. Huh?
Have selfie taken. Have selfie taken. Have phone stand.
Oh, cool. I can't talk. I'm getting destroyed.
I know, I'm allowing you this time.
Not now, Jersey Mike, with the freaking galaxy. Thank you, Jersey. With the freaking galaxy.
Look how clean his mattress is, chat. Clearly, he's taken that thing out and washed it.
This time.
Not now, Jersey.
Someone went out of their way to buy him 2 different sets of sheets for his bed because he claimed he didn't have sheets or pillowcases. So he would have a set and could wash a set. How you like that? That dark gray mattress set.
Jersey Mike with the freaking galaxy. Thank you, Jersey Mike. Guys, we got to use those big gifts for the doubles and the triples. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Swamp, I didn't know what the heck I was looking for. Hey, Tucker. Guys, they could snipe over there. He's got snipers. They're close.
Have selfie stick and have phones.
What is all the fluid on the floor?
And have.
Like, that's a lot of jizz or something.
Selfie stick and have phone stand.
Oh, cool. I can't talk. I'm getting destroyed.
I know, I'm allowing you this time.
Not now, Jersey.
Is that a piss jug? Oh, no, it's Diet Coke. Okay. Still could be piss in there. There's his ashtray. You notice his ashtray is the same color as his mattress? I wonder if those two things go together. Oh, I forgot. Scott Rogers is having... Did I show you he's having somebody arrested? You guys remember fucking Barry? Scott Rogers is having fucking Barry arrested. I don't know if you guys know that or not, but hold on. First of all, let's do a little stare inspection.
What's going on, guys? This is when I'm going to show you when it's time to replace a step, or when it's
bug, dude. I wish I would have watched this before today because I actually fell through an old step today.
When it's like this, goes up and down, like, see?
He's walking on his knuckles again.
Does that? Cracks. A crack all the way. That's how you can tell. I called the office, they're gonna fix it. Peace out. What's going on, guys?
By the way, I know you fattish, nasty motherfuckers have been waiting to see his poop covered toes. There they are. That's the one. That is the foots that did the famous waffle stomp.
This is what I'm going to show you when it's time.
You've been thinking about having a waffle stomped. That's what you need right there. Them meaty sons of bitches.
Replace a step, a wooden step.
What?
When it's like this, goes up and down, like, see, does that?
Imagine working in the office at Scott's fucking low-income housing. Wonder how many times they hear from him a day. There's his other big toe. In case you're wondering, he does have two. Anybody need to get a screenshot for the spank bank?
I called the office.
I called the office. They won't fix it. Okay.
What's going on, everyone? Let's talk about alcoholism.
What?
It's not good.
Would you say it's bad?
It damages your liver. I mean, your liver is one of the most important organs, you know. Shouldn't destroy it.
I'll show you my most important organ.
Alcoholism is not good either. It can make you do some crazy stuff when you're drunk, you know. Like getting into a car, which is illegal. DUI. Driving under the influence. You could get arrested for that. And it ain't fun. It ain't fun. My ex-stepmother, she was an alcoholic. And this is to all you people who believes that AA does not help. It does. She went to AA meetings, and I don't know if she's still alcohol-free. I don't know.
Somebody said, thanks, Dr. Robotnik.
She's living on the other side of the country. I mean, and
they're from his moped accident. When his dad bought him a moped, and he thought mopeds were like video games, and he could just ride over top of cars going down the street.
People who does alcohol, drinks alcohol, they'll lose everything. Too. Your family, your job, anything. And this is to who does not know what AA means. Alcohol Anonymous. That's what AA means. You go to meetings.
Nope.
Say, get better. I mean, for me, I got sneeze. I just play for y'all. Instead of alcohol, guys, do what I do. Drink sodas.
Do you think that's his origin story? Alcohol and Tylenol or something during conception?
If you do drink alcohol and your liver's bad, you can't donate. Part of your liver. And your liver can regenerate. That's why I don't drink, because I'm an organ donor. When my time comes, my organs, they'll be donated.
Hell no. Hell no, dude. I don't even want to be a recipient anymore until his organs have made its way through the genetic pool. I don't even want to be a potential recipient.
Peace out. What's up, baby?
He's already made up of two humans stitched together. What the fuck? No, dude. They're just playing God now.
Whoever battles FKM Barry, don't. He does not listen. I keep on asking him to stop calling my dad Big Mike. It's just Mike, not Big Mike or whatever. Don't battle him, and until you stop calling my dad that, Barry, we are no longer going to battle. Me and you, until you stop. I'm not going to block you, but I'm not going to battle you. Until you quit. And I'm putting you on a gift strike, Barry.
Hear that, Big Mike?
So many gifts, he doesn't deserve it. I got screenshots. Well, screenshots of our conversation. One time, voice it. Stop calling that. I asked him to delete it. When he sees it, I think he's still asleep. I'm trying to call him once to wake him up to tell him that, but And he's also alive.
Fucking Barry is the one who made the Scott Rogers t-shirts that says, "Shut the fuck up, motherfucker," or whatever, and sells them and gives the proceeds to Scott.
Too.
He's the guy who bought his damn electric bike we see him riding off into the sunset for Scott.
It doesn't piss me off. It just aggravates me. So, until you quit calling my dad that.
Free speech, motherfucker.
And you're going to get strike.
Free speech, motherfucker.
Any gifts if he's in a box. Peace out. What's going on, everyone?
All right, here we go. Here we go. Now we're getting to the bottom of this.
Tonight, sometime tonight, we're going to do a live. And in the live, I'll do some deals. And how much money else me depends on the deals. And it better be not to humiliate you or anything like that. If I don't,
You're not going to do another waffle stomp dare?
agree to the deal, do not send me the money. If y'all do, I'll issue a refund. Peace out. What's going on, everyone? Tonight, sometime tonight. What's going on, everyone? This video is to Barry. His TikTok name, FKN Barry. I have him blocked, but I know he has other accounts that I don't know about. And that's how he watches my videos. Which is good. Because listen up, Barry. I can change my mind about the shorts. So you need to stop. Or you will be arrested for internet raping. Because that's what you...
I did find his doppelganger. I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Weird Science. Tell me this isn't a 1-for-1. I don't know which one's the video. I don't know which one to click play on. Anyways, he just said that he was going to report Barry for internet raping him. He said the word grape so he doesn't get banned. He said he was going to report Barry for internet raping him.
Because listen up, Barry. I can change my mind about the shorts. So you need to stop. Or you will be arrested for internet raping.
For internet raping. You need to stop calling my dad Big Mike and impersonating my dad because you're internet raping me.
About the shorts. So you need to stop. Or you will be arrested for internet raping. Because that's what you're doing. Now I have a police officer friend.
Uh-oh.
If you don't stop, Barry, he will get your location, come to your location, and put you in handcuffs. He protects me. I ask him a lot of questions.
Oh my God, hold on. Let's get that tongue shot froze for you guys.
Get your location, come to your location, and put you in handcuffs. He protects me. I ask him.
Who needs it? Dr. J? I'll give you a minute to finish.
He will get your location, come to your location, and put you in handcuffs. He protects me. I ask him.
We're not leaving this screen till someone pays my rent this month. Dr. Javier Banana, you're up. Did he take something? Yes, my innocence. I can't get the play icon off. But Scott can get you off if that's what you need. What the fuck word are you trying to say when your tongue comes out and touches your cheek?
Come to your location and put you in handcuffs. He protects me. I ask him a lot of questions. dealing with
a lot of questions. You were trying to say a lot of questions, and your tongue's over here.
location and put you in handcuffs. He protects me. I ask him a lot of questions dealing with what you're doing. So, Barry, this is your final warning. Please stop.
Don't worry, it gets worse, okay? This is just a local cop that protects Scott.
Or he will come and arrest you. Peace out.
But now Barry's moving up to the big leagues, okay? Scott's calling the FBI.
Oh my God, Barry.
My hands are tied, Barry.
More, too far. First, you impersonating me. That's one thing. But impersonating my dad? Out of the question, dude. Now I'm really going to have to put you in jail. You're impersonating me and my family? No. Now you're definitely going to jail. Now I got the evidence. So, when I pin this video, I'm calling the FBI. The cyber division. Because you're cyberbullying me and now cyberbullying my dad? You done went way too far now. And I'm also going to tell my police friend. You keep doing this, I keep making...
Done for, Barry. Pack your bags.
Videos about you. Peace out, dude.
You're going to prison.
Enjoy federal prison.
Enjoy federal prison, Barry. Barry, how you like federal prison? Motherfucker. Motherfucker. All right, guys, I'm out. Enjoy the tongue candy that I left you. That boy could tongue punch a fart box into next week. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. We got a fight coming up. We got a fight. Technically, it's only one day away because it's after midnight. We got a fight coming up, okay? It's like at 8 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. If you don't want me evicted like Bert, me and Bert might have to live under a bridge together. Unless you go to buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. That would be kind of funny if me and Bert lived under the same bridge. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out. Support the show. Or I'm going to do that Scott thing with my tongue to your balloon knot. Okay? Thank you guys for joining us. See you on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye.
But I can tell you this about if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the forking balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the forking balls.
First rule about Fight Club. We can't talk about Fight Club, Sister Doll. Sorry.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well listen bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6th sense for the stupid shit. Where my true believer? Y'all need Jesus. Praise the Lord, head to the extreme. All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like four in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers cause you told
Happy November. Happy November.
Austin sent me a new chip. We'll have to watch that on the next show.
Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom.
Good night, guys.
In his closet, I found
Support the show so I don't live under a bridge with Bert.
I found myself